Welcome to another episode, everyone. OG white boy from Cedar Block, Piru, knocked out the game's brother, the rapper of the game, and then he came up dead. Let's get into it.
Another episode of Warren Cali. In the late 2000s and 2010s, the rapper of the game was a major West Coast rap artist. With him gaining success, his brother, known as Big Face, would be a consistent figure behind the scenes. If you seen the game, you seen Big Face, and they both founded the record label Black Wall Street. But things would later cause a major split and fallout between the brothers, which rap songs dissing each other would later come out.
He said rap or die and took it to the top. 2005 MVP of hip hop. Then all of a sudden things changed. Shit got real strange, real Hollywood business. You know the game.
If you wanted me gone, you could've let it be known, Jay. It's funny how shit end up way the wrong way. Sitting trying to figure out the wrong turn I made. Drop my quarters in the game, but I got played.
That's my brother, man. That's the nigga behind the whole fucking operation, man. Big Face Hunter, man. He definitely kept me alive this long, man, and showed me the game. If it wasn't for him, I'd probably be in a coffin somewhere, man.
Big Face and Gaines.
That's just crazy how brothers end up falling out over the music industry, over being a celebrity, over money. That's what it was all over, no doubt. Start making rap songs about one another, dissing each other. These dudes are brothers. Check this out. Check out this dude, white boy. He's a scary looking individual, this dude from Piru.
Relationship would seem unfixable during that time period. Both the game and Big Face claimed Cedar Block, Piru, and Compton. Another member from that hood would be Rodney Johnson, also known as White Boy or Big White. Big White, by this time of Gang and Big Face fallout by 06 and 07, White Boy was an OG, and you even seen him in videos with the gang on songs like Let's Ride. But later, he would appear in a video that would go super viral in that era. Big Face was having problems with the game, and he would invite an enemy of the game to Cedar Block Piru's turf to shoot a video. The game was once a part of G-Unit. With him leaving on a bad note, he gained a few new rivals. And Spider-Loc was a newly affiliated LA artist of G-Unit, and he took the beef with Game serious. Him linking with Big Face was a backstabbing team-up for Big Face. Spider-Loc would attempt to shoot a video shoot on Brazil and Wilmington, which was in the Cedar Block Piru's hood. But things at the video shoot would go bad. White Boy appeared at the video shoot, and it led to White Boy checking Big Face for bringing Spider-Loc and Crips to their neighborhood. He did that with his fist by knocking out Big Face. A video was captured, and Big Face Hunted got put on his back by White Boy. The footage made it to YouTube, starting an uproar in the rap world, with White Boy and Big Face both putting out video statements about each other, and also many questioning Face Street credibility after being knocked out. White Boy would begin to troll and tell his side of the story. At this time, he was going viral.
The big homie from Compton, you know, and the other day I happened to see some Crips that wasn't supposed to be in my neighborhood shooting a video, you know, and I had let motherfuckers know ahead of time that couldn't go down like that, you know what I'm saying? As being a real motherfucking reputable Piru, you know.
Look at him, man. Look at it. Boy, look here. The eyes are the window to the soul. Look at his eyes. They look crazy. So they say Spider-Loc was involved in this video shoot, and this dude apparently came through tripping on Spider-Loc about filming a video in his hood, along with Big Face, the gang's brother. And he punched him and knocked him out, the gang's brother. Even though the gang and his brother are beefing, they're still brothers. He done punched him and knocked him out, as he's explaining now, because he said some Crips were in his hood, were not supposed to be there. They didn't get permission. They didn't check in. They didn't pay up. Oh, man. And then he came up missing, this dude here, after knocking out Big Face, the gang's brother.
So the motherfuckers was there, and it had to go like it had to go, you know? So the DVD will be there to show you how it went on the next episode.
Blank out like, bam!
Little old blood.
Big Face would respond in his own video.
White boy is an SPV, and the SPV is a smoked out parole violator. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a motherfucking SPV is, and that's what the fuck you are, old blood.
Little old blood.
You know, we was always good, but lately he just been on this whole, you know, this game shit. You know what I mean? Basically all in the video, eating strawberries at the motherfucking video shoot, little chandeliers here and there. Niggas, you know, niggas is rent a thug.
Black out like, bam!
So White, here we go again. What's up with the situation?
To set the record straight, I think Big Face minus 100 need to man up in order to set the record straight and start being a man of his own camp and stop letting all those other guys he got over there infiltrate his camp.
Spider-Loc and several others would respond to the incident.
Nothing to me, like, you feel me? I back out, nigga chirped me on the way down with me, so he telling me face on his back. I ain't even know there's no problem. I'm like, damn, cuz. I'm just knowing nigga finna chirp me and tell me, ooh, now this happened, but that chirp never came. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just here. I'm a part of an organization called In the Streets, and for a long time we've been bringing the rawest hip-hop news we can, especially when it's generated on the West Coast, and somehow somebody on my staff happened to acquire this footage. Actually, come to find out, the actual cameraman was on my staff, and he had the footage.
So you can't just let a nigga steal you and then bounce up quick and then not do nothing? I mean, I don't know. I wasn't raised like that.
I'd kill that nigga.
I ain't never claimed to be the hardest blood. It was almost like saying, I'm a pussy. You know, I can't fight, white boy. That's a big motherfucker. See, that's where he fucked up at. That's where he fucked up at. If he just would have said, white boy got a cool one and left it at that, that would have been cool. But don't explain the shit.
You wrap it up and ball out after you
like a motherfucker. White boy be running down the street taking his shirt off and face be in the cars up off. But it's sad, it's on tape, it's part of history.
Big White would go under the radar for years, staying out the spotlight, but he remained in the streets and around his neighborhood as well. And over a decade later, that would lead to his demise. On March 30th, 2017, a 48-year-old black man was shot and killed in the 400 block of North Wilmington Avenue in Compton, according to the Los Angeles County Coroner's records, and it was White Boy. Allegedly, by reports, he had been living in his van in the residential area of Compton where he died. Los Angeles County sheriffs say White Boy had been talking with a friend at West Brazil Street and North Wilmington Avenue in the Cedar Block's turf. At 7:49 p.m., as he was returning from a visit, a man ran up and shot him several times, police said. Deputies found him lying in the street with multiple gunshot wounds. He was pronounced dead at the scene at 8 p.m. The shooter was described as only a black man who was last seen running away. Police said there was no conversation between the gunman and White Boy. Investigators said they don't have a motive for the shooting.
I'm Susie Sudd. Tonight, family and friends gathered to remember a man who was a son, a father, and a grandfather. He was shot and killed last night in Compton.
Detectives at the Sheriff's Department don't have any solid leads so far. And tonight, the victim's family says that he was gunned down while trying to plead for peace. His father was a hardworking man who took care of his 6 children and 3 grandchildren. This picture of him falling asleep with his shoes off with one of the kids in his arms is how his mother wants to remember him.
I'm going through a grief, you know, and I'm in a lot of pain.
A candlelight vigil was held at the corner of North Wilmington Avenue and Brazil Street in Compton Friday evening. This is where 48-year-old Rodney Johnson was shot and killed one night earlier. Relatives say Johnson went to a home nearby after his son got into an altercation with another boy earlier in the day. Johnson's family says he and his son went over to make amends with the other family. They thought the beef was squashed as they walked back to their car. but relatives say someone ran up and shot Johnson several times in the back. The shooter ran down Brazil Street before anyone could get a good look at him. Johnson's son had to watch his father die on the street.
Over a decade later, the streets would take the life of White Boy, with him still being active and around his area. This is what probably led to his demise. He was 48 years old.
Wow. Well, I mean, it sounds a little shady to me. He went with his son, who had an altercation with a family or another little boy, what have you. He went down there with his son to resolve the issue, they say. He went down there to resolve it. However they were resolving the issue, clearly it was not resolved by the time he walked away or was walking away with his son, because someone came up from behind and gunned him down. Presumably someone from that family that he had just had the altercation with, his son had just had the altercation with. So who knows what was said when he came down there with his son. Someone's probably going to say they felt threatened. Maybe he went crazy. Maybe he threatened someone. He has a violent history, a violent reputation. They can use that. I don't know. But if he got shot in the back, then you can't say it's self-defense or whatever. He was walking away, and whatever the conflict may have been or the argument, he was getting back into his vehicle with his son and leaving. And then someone comes up and shoots him in the back and kills him. So it's not self-defense. That's a cold way to go out. And that's just, I hate to see it, man, because, on the street, we living in this life, and then he was living in his van in the end. It's just not, what does the life get you? What does gang banging get you? What does the culture yield you in the end? In the end, he's living in his van. Doesn't even have a friend to put him up and sleep on a couch or on the floor somewhere. Gave your life for the hood, putting in work for the hood, so-called hood. And then when it's all said and done, when you fall on hard times, you're on your own. You living right there in your hood, where you grew up at, where you gave your blood and your life force to, and you can't stay anywhere but inside of your van, right there in your hood, and then end up getting killed right there. It's just, there's no end in sight, and there's no win for anyone that lives this sort of lifestyle. We have to get out of it and live productive, successful lives. If not, it always ends like this. Every story ends like this, one way or another. Let me know what you think in the comments. There you have it. White Boy, Cedar Block, Piru. Someone took him out after going viral, before there was really a such thing as going viral on the internet and all that, for knocking out Big Phase, as we saw, the gang's brother. Doesn't really seem like there's a correlation between, this was 10 years later when he got deleted. And it seems like it was some separate altercation that his son had with someone and whatever else, as we just saw. But who knows, The streets never forget. Stay safe and stay free. People, rest in peace to that individual, White Boy.